Are you ready to evacuate at a moment's notice? Welcome to Newbie Prep Step 4. Hi, I'm Jonathan.
And Kylene Jones, and we are the Provident Preppers. You never know when an emergency situation will arise that will require you to leave your home at a moment's notice.
In Newbie Prep Step number 4, we will help you create the perfect evacuation pack to take care of your needs. Let's get packing. Are you ready for Prep Step number 4? This is all about emergency evacuation. Let's take a look at the progress that you've already made. You've already completed Prep Step number 1, which included creating a personal risk evaluation. It also included getting a week's supply of water and 2 weeks' supply of food. Great job.
And then in Prep Step number 2, you created a family emergency plan that encompassed both an emergency at home as well as if you need to evacuate. And Prep Step number 3 was all about emergency sanitation, both stocking up and being prepared at home and in the event that you need to evacuate.
See how far you've come? You've made some great progress. Now let's surge ahead. Let's talk about emergency evacuation. This includes both an evacuation plan and the supplies that you will need in the event that you do have to evacuate.
The evacuation plan is critically important. Everything that you do and the supplies that you gather will all be dependent upon that plan. You already started this plan in Prep Step 2 when you developed your family emergency plan. So go and review that real quick.
Just why would you need to leave? For me, there's no place like home. I don't want to leave unless I have to, but some of the reasons why we might need to might include a wildfire. This is a picture from our backyard a couple of months ago. We never got to the point where we were in serious danger, but we could have been, either from the fire itself or from dense smoke. If you live in earthquake country, you may have to evacuate either because your home becomes uninhabitable or because utilities or other issues are making that a requirement. An impending hurricane may require that you take your family somewhere else to safety. Other reasons could include flooding, a hazmat spill, civil unrest, or some other unknown event. Make sure you review your risk evaluation from Step 1.
Remember, we talked about how destination determines the supplies that you need. If you are evacuating due to an impending hurricane and are just planning to have a family vacation at a hotel a few hundred miles away, you are going to need a whole different set of supplies than if you are planning on heading to the mountains. Remember to plan for your pets. We won't discuss that anymore in this video, but as you go through the reading assignments, you'll find a lot more information about taking care of your pets in an evacuation type scenario. Now, the second part of this prep step are evacuation kits and supplies. We're not big believers in giving you a list because every pack needs to be specially customized for the person whose needs it is intended to fulfill. But there are 10 basic categories that are really important that you consider as you design your customized survival kit.
The first category is shelter, making sure that you have what you need for privacy, for protection from the elements, and warmth. We just purchased 2 more small tents that we could use in the event we needed to evacuate, or they can be used inside your home to create a microclimate. Setting up that tent inside your home or another building provides a way to help you stay warm.
So think about this. Even if you just ended up evacuating and going to a friend's house or to grandma's house, having this little tent with you would help you to be able to stay warm if that was an issue, but it could also provide you privacy even if you're just camping out in somebody's living room. Hydration is the second category, and it is critically important. We encourage you to take as much water with you as you physically can. Make sure that you have some kind of a good purifier or water filter that can take care of your needs during the time that you would be evacuated. If you click on the card in the corner, we'll take you to a post that will take the mystery out of selecting a water filter. Also, you may want to consider keeping some type of a drink powder in your emergency supplies because sometimes that water will not taste very palatable, and a little bit of drink powder can help.
If you are evacuating, mobility is very important. Think about how you're going to transport both people and things. Make sure that you have great walking shoes and good socks and the foot care supplies that you need to take care of any injuries or blisters, whatever may happen. Wheels are one of history's greatest inventions, and wheels would be a wonderful thing if you can use them. If you have the ability to put something on wheels, it's going to travel much more easily.
So think about wheels when you are selecting the container for your survival kit. I have these big buff sons that can throw a huge pack on their back and travel with it without any problem at all. But for me, I'm going to need to have some type of a suitcase on wheels or backpack on wheels so that I have the ability to transport that without carrying the whole load.
You've already completed prep step number 3, which is sanitation. Sanitation also applies in the evacuation setting. You may want a few additional supplies to assist with that. Now, we're not huge fans of bucket toilets. However, they do have some advantages in that you can put all of your supplies inside that bucket and take it with you. Take a look at your options and decide what works best for you.
It might also be a good plan for you to review the evacuation sanitation plan that you developed in step 3. Now let's talk about food. It's important that you have something to nourish you and to help you along the way. However, that's not your top priority. We recommend that you pack foods that are shelf stable, foods that require little or no preparation, that are enjoyable for you to eat, and that respect your dietary restraints. If you have someone with a gluten intolerance, don't pack foods that are going to make them sick. That's the worst time to be sick.
Category 6 is communication. Your ability to both send and receive timely information is a critical part of your plan. Things that may help with that include your phone and your phone charger, batteries, a family band radio, amateur radios. As part of this plan, you will want to make sure you have a written list of phone numbers and important frequencies that you may need to use.
Category number 7 is vision. We need to both be able to see and to be seen. For those of us who are pretty much blind without glasses, we recognize the critical importance of having that extra set of prescription glasses inside of our survival kit. Sunglasses could also be very important to protect your eyes depending on where you're going to be. And then we need to light our world, whether that's with flashlights or glow sticks or lanterns. You have a whole variety. In fact, if you click the card in the corner, I will put a link to a post that we've written that goes over emergency lighting options.
Category 8 is sleep. Now, if you're in a crisis situation and you have evacuated, chances are things are a little bit stressful. And yet, this is probably one of the most important times that you need that sleep to help you be able to think clearly. So what is it that you need? Maybe it's a pillow. Maybe there's some medication that helps you sleep. A blanket, a foam pad, comfort toys, whatever those things are for each member of your group. Think about sleep and make sure that you have what you need.
When we bought those tents, one of the other things that we felt was really important were a couple of 2-man hammocks. These aren't very expensive. They're about $20 a piece. And I like them because they were big enough for 2 people, but they could sleep 1. But you can tie up a hammock just about anywhere. You can sit in hammocks, you can lay down in hammocks. They're very compact and very portable. Now, should I talk about comfort foods or you, John? John is the stud. He has no need for any comfort, anything. Me, I'm all about my comfort needs, right? When disaster strikes and we have all kinds of different anxiety and we're unsure of things, sometimes comfort items or comfort foods can go a long way to helping you make it through a situation. So if you are addicted to anything, now is not the time to stop. It's a good idea to stop, but now is not the time. So pack in your survival kit whatever it is that you are addicted to. Things that might bring comfort are books, games, music, soda, coffee, Snickers for me. Yeah, Snickers are mine. Or a favorite stuffed animal or a toy. You might not want to keep all of those in the survival kit depending on what it is, because quite frankly, if you have a 2-year-old that won't go to bed without a stuffed animal, you don't want that packed in a survival kit. But we're going to talk about making lists, and that's one of the items that you could grab just before you walk out. Make sure that that item makes it on the list. And the final category is financial resources. We want to make sure that we have cash in small bills to pay for incidentals. If you carry large bills, then you might just lose your money because of the inability to make change. And then a couple of good credit cards that have large available balances on them. We had an experience where we traveled across the state line on vacation and went to a restaurant and the bank declined our card. We hadn't realized at that time that we were required to notify our bank before crossing a state line in order to use our credit card. So we learned we did have another credit card with us that we could use, and we had some cash. But you don't want to get stranded in an evacuation situation where you're trying to pay for a hotel and have your bank have terminated that card. So be really careful about that. A debit card is a great idea. And also, while it's not taken as readily as it used to be, a check could come in handy. And as we alluded to earlier, last minute lists are really important. Now, if you look at this photo, this is a picture of our entry closet, and that is where we keep our survival kits, so that they're right there by the front door. Inside that closet door, we have all kinds of lists. We've got our emergency plan there with numbers on it, so everybody just has access to it. We have a last minute items to grab list, because depending on the time of the year, you're going to want to grab weather specific gear. If it's in the middle of summer, you don't need a parka, but man, if you are evacuating here in the middle of winter, you're going to need a really warm coat and perhaps some boots. Things like medication, glasses, fresh foods. There's an emergency document binder that you will learn about in your homework that you're going to want to grab. Backups for your computer, a backup battery bank. When it comes to the fresh food, we do something really interesting. If you look at the photos on the bottom, the arrow is pointing to some very inexpensive dollar store insulated bags. And the plan is, if we need to evacuate, we will pull those bags down and we will go to the refrigerator and fresh fruit and the bread and gather everything that we can put in those bags and take with us. They'll stay good for about 24 hours in there, but it enables us to have some good fresh food when we leave. One of the other lists is a to-do list, because remember, when you are freaked out and that adrenaline's running, your brain just goes numb and you can't think straight. So the list helps you know exactly what to do. Things like take care of your pets, lock the doors, turn off your central air, turn off your water, secure your valuables, perhaps in a safe or hide them somewhere. And you also may need to leave a note for someone, depending on who you're needing to communicate with. In the upper left-hand corner, you will see our emergency document binder, and this is all ready to go, along with different keys for bug-out locations and things that we might need. One of your reading assignments for this week includes detailed instructions on how to create your own emergency document binder. Your reading assignments for this week can be found in the description of this video. If you just click on the description, it will pull up all the links to everything that you need to read and do for this step.
Homework time. Look around your home and find some kind of a backpack or a rolling suitcase or something that you can use as an emergency kit. Stock it using the principles you've learned from your reading assignments, and you will need one of these for each member of your family. New packs are ideal, but for now, use whatever you have available and get started. Now, go to the Provident Prepper and click on Action Plans. This is going to bring up a whole page of different action plans. You're going to want to click the Survival Kit action plan. Once you get to this point, you will be able to click on the top link to get your PDF copy of the Survival Kit action plan.
And you will love this action plan, because this is a little bit overwhelming, and this is the closest you will ever get to getting a list from us. But there are 4 pages to this action plan. The first one guides you through a personal survival kit. Every member of your family or group needs to have their own personal kit. The second page helps you work through a family survival kit. In this kit, you're going to have things that are shared resources, like a large first aid kit or some cooking utensils, things like that. The third page walks you through a pet survival kit and then a vehicle survival kit. Every vehicle should have a vehicle survival kit that is packed and ready to go in the back of it. Also, a workplace survival kit in the event that you are stranded at your place of employment overnight. And then finally, a school survival kit. And it's really not a survival kit, but it's more of a comfort kit. It's designed for children that are in elementary school, so that if something bad happens, if they have some kind of a lockdown or something, they have items that are fun and familiar and pictures of their family that can just help see them through this really challenging time.
And remember, these are just a place to get started. You're going to add and subtract whatever is appropriate for you and your family or group.
Okay, I am the queen of do what I say and not what I do. I try really hard, but the truth is, I am incredibly human. And recently, we just rotated our survival kits, and I was highly embarrassed. This is our Kenny, and those hot pink pants that she's wearing were the size pants that were in her survival kit. Obviously, life got away from me for a while. So I would highly encourage you to reassess and rotate your kits much more regularly than I have.
Our goal is to do it twice a year. Doesn't always happen.
Life gets away from you. You plan on doing it and then things just happen.
But we will do better. Now, just a little sneak peek into the future. You can be watching for prep step number 5. This step is all about water and filtration and everything you need to keep your family hydrated and clean. We encourage you to go to the Provident Prepper, Newbie Prepper, 10 simple steps to get started. You can use this to look backwards and review, or even to look forward and get started on things coming up. On our YouTube channel, we have some great videos, including Bug Out or Bug In. The decision whether to evacuate or not is not always clear. This video goes through some important insights that you may want to think about. And emergency water filters. We encourage you to look at this now, because as part of your evacuation kit, you need the ability to filter water. Now let's get busy on step 4.
It is really important that you do not allow yourself to become overwhelmed. Emergency kits are kind of a work in progress. Start with the basics and your kit will get better and better every time you rotate it.
And now for the question of the day. What are you doing to get your evacuation pack together and to keep it rotated and ready to go? Comment below. And thanks for being part of the solution.